course there's a little celebration going on today because Tua is that dude. And I've been saying it for a minute, and you're just going to let it wash all over you. If you're a Tua hater like Solana, you got to let it wash all over you because he's that dude.
Well, the young kids say he's him or Himothy.
He is him.
He played very well. I'll tell you that. He played well. Sauce Gardner wasn't playing, but he played well.
Here's some stats. Here's some tweets. From football perspective, Tua Tagovailoa at 74.5% has the best completion percentage in the NFL this season. Tua Tagovailoa at 69%
Nice.
has the best completion percentage of any quarterback over the last 3 years. From Joe Shad in the Palm Beach Post, Tua Tagovailoa has completed 70% or better in his last 7 games. Only one player has ever had 8 consecutive games in a season with over 70% or better. That is Joe Montana. Pretty good quarterback, if you remember him.
You can play ball.
Kurt Warner tweeted out last night, if you don't think Tua has elite, and he capitalized elite, if you don't think Tua has elite anticipation, timing, and accuracy, you cray-cray. And yes, that was what Kurt Warner tweeted in 2024. You cray-cray.
Kurt been around the jitterbugs too much. He's hanging out with the children.
Since returning from the concussion, Tua has 15 touchdowns, 1 interception, almost 2,000 yards passing, a 112.5 passer rating, as one tweeter tweets. Get a decent team around this man.
The Jets were loading up to stop the run as he went for 250, and then he went for 300. And they were I was like, they're going to stay in this game plan because Tua eats you up. If you have timing routes and one-on-ones, Tua's going to put that ball where it's supposed to be.
Which is exactly what you saw in overtime, by the way. I mean, just timing route. I mean, we've been on the opposite end of what happened to the Jets in overtime a zillion times, where someone, and it doesn't even have to be a great quarterback. Like, it can be someone who's just a great quarterback against the Miami Dolphins, but someone with just pinpoint accuracy, pop, 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 pop. Overtime's over before you even knew it began because it was so precision. And that's exactly what Tua did yesterday to the Jets. And it was just, listen, you can argue all you want whether the game should have ever been that close or should have even gone to overtime against a stinky Jets team that was missing Sauce Gardner. But regardless, they needed a dub. They got out of there with the dub. And when you needed him to drive downfield to tie it up, he did that. And when you needed him to drive downfield and seal the deal with a touchdown so that Aaron Rodgers didn't get a chance because you only settled for 3, which every Dolphins fan had to be thinking is exactly what's going to happen. Jonnu. Oh, my God, what happened? Alec Ingold up the middle 3 times. Let's kick a field goal and hope the defense can hold him. And it was, they scored the tutty, and it was just like, it was great. I mean, it was just a great ending.
I like that. When it was on the line, I don't say on the line. In the second half, Mike McDaniel kind of said, "The hell with this running game. give Tua the ball. Like, let's just go down there and throw the rock." I love that he's not like, like I said about the Jets defense, setting my ways of what I want to know. Tua's cooking, let him cook. I love that. I don't need an answer because I know y'all had the same feeling. When they went to overtime, it was a loss in my mind. I'm glad I was wrong. Even when they got the flip and they get the ball first. Okay, we kick a field goal, they score a touchdown. Yep, that's about it. I had no confidence in that being a win. I'm glad it came out on that side. We're still in the hunt category. I was watching last night, the game. We're still in the hunt little category, and I enjoy it.
The percentage, I think, is up over 20% now that the Dolphins will make the postseason. And I have to tell you something. You jumped all over me when I said maybe one day we'll say Tua is the best quarterback in Dolphins history. I'm not saying that. But Tua Tagovailoa should get MVP votes if the Dolphins make the playoffs, even having missed 4 games?
He plays 13. He's over 74%. He can go to the Pro Bowl. He can go to the Pro Bowl.
But he should get
MVP, you
MVP
see
votes.
Josh Allen accounted for 6 touchdowns yesterday.
Josh Allen's the best player in the league by far. I saw who said that today. It was on I think it was Rex Ryan said that today on Get Up. Like, by far the best player in the National Football League is Josh Allen.
He threw a touchdown to himself 2 weeks ago and then scored 6 touchdowns yesterday, Hawk. Like, can Tua get a vote or 2? Maybe. Can he go to the Pro Bowl? Yes. Josh Allen has that trophy. There's no reason for anybody else to go to the ceremony.
Tua deserves it if the award went to who is literally or at least should be in the conversation, who is literally the most valuable player for their team.
For their team, right? This
aside from records.
We've seen it. This team is literally garbage if he's not out there playing quarterback. Now, I don't know what the situation would be in Buffalo. I know Mike White's third, but who's the second string?
Well, that answers your question at what the situation would look like. Right. But I think we've also seen instances where, Jordan Love went down, but the Packers Foundation and LaFleur, like they're going to be able to at least maximize the situation and not make it look miserable. We've seen it and what it looks like with the Dolphins, misery, and with Tua playing, he is without a doubt the most valuable player, or one of them in the NFL for their team.
Well, Mitchell Trubisky's back up in Buffalo. He's not scoring 6 touchdowns in a game.
No. But he's not going to look like Skylar Thompson.
You're right. And then Josh Johnson backs up Lamar Jackson, but they have a hell of a run game, so they just lean on Derrick Henry. No, I'm with you. Tua, and that's the thing. Is it most outstanding player or most valuable player? Because value to the Dolphins, Tua is up. He's probably number 1 in the league.
He adds $1 billion in net worth to that franchise for Stephen Ross. Stephen Ross should walk around Tua with a pillow.
I haven't missed a home game all year. It's ugly when Tua's not playing.
We have a chance.
Let's go Boyle.
We have a chance for you to win a $50 gift card to Twin Peaks every day this week on the program. So keep listening. Twin Peaks eats, drinks, scenic views. It's the holiday season, so we'll give you a gift every single day this week. Will Manso is going to join us today. The Heat are hot. You can talk a little Heat with him if you want. Dolphins, Canes, of course. Canes going to the Pop-Tarts Bowl, just like we all imagined after that Cal win. Let's get... I have a list of discontinued Pop-Tarts I'll get to later on in the show today. Some I would like to see come back.
Win the ACC to the Pop-Tart Bowl.
I mean,
in 4 quarters against Syracuse.
Not every movie finishes the way that you thought it was going to finish.
I think Miami could have beat Clemson or SMU. No matter who the hell was on the other, Miami could have beat one of those 2 teams or both of them. Now you're in the Pop-Tart Bowl. It was a
perfect confluence of events. You lost at the wrong times during the season. Other teams won at the right time. It was just a confluence of events that led to an absolutely disastrous end to the Miami Hurricane season. And it's official. They will be in the Pop-Tarts Bowl, not the college football playoffs, which we had all taken for granted, I think, most of the season.
Alabama's out, though. I know that brings you some joy.
Well, at least they stayed true to what their formula was.
Right.
Like, if SMU got bounced and they kept Alabama in, then I was ready to throw hands. So at least they stayed true to whatever, parameters they have. Let's get headlines, because Will Manso is going to join us. Headlines with Solana, brought to you by Doral Volkswagen. At Doral Volkswagen, choose from over 300 new Volkswagen models in stock, like the Tiguan, Taos, and Atlas. And remember, when it comes to Volkswagen, the great deals are at Doral Volkswagen.
Hawk, it was better this way, in my opinion, for Canes fans. Maybe you disagree, but had the Hurricanes been ranked ahead Alabama, we would have all been massive SMU fans. And to watch Clemson kick a game-winning field goal.
True.
as time expires and Dabo Swinney celebrating, knowing that the Canes had just been bounced, would have been worse. At least you had a full week to kind of just accept it and move on.
Yeah, I'm with that. Like, if you said to me, you're either going to find out the week prior and it's Alabama and you're going to have a case to be made, because you don't have much of a case if Clemson beats SMU and they're picking two ACC teams. And, Miami, while I do think is a better team than Clemson and SMU, Miami rightfully would have been the team left out of that. So Solana's right in that aspect. I'd rather have that week to complain and bitch and moan rather than have the rug pulled out from under you right at the end.
I don't like the word hate, but I strongly dislike Dabo Swinney.
Agreed.
I don't know. It's not even a Kane thing either. When he talks, he gets on my nerves.
Just get over yourself, Dabo. Just get over yourself.
Come. Now he's just. Well, we knew what was going to happen. Hard times build hard people. See, get the hell out of here, Dabo. I don't like Dabo.
Congrats to Channing Crowder, Georgia. I don't know how, but won the SEC title game.
Without Carson back, Crowder had a monster bet with Georgia plus 2.5. Monster bet.
And now I have a stomach ulcer, but it's all worth it. Game made me miserable.
I don't know how that happened, but God bless you.
Oh, goodness gracious. Lost it all on Patrick Mahomes rushing over.
17.5 yesterday.
He rushed for 17.5. He rushed for 17.
Oh,
man.
I think Tua was at 3.5, and he rushed for 3. I didn't bet him, but he had that one scramble, slid so early. I would have gone nuts. I would have gone nuts if I had the over. But I went 4-0 yesterday. I had 2 parlays and 3 parlays and just one straight bet. And I've won 8 in a row. I want to tell you, I'm on a heater.
What?
Yeah.
Time to fade
Ever
him,
since
Solana.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's due. But ever since Pizzola kind of just absolutely took a blowtorch to your gambling strategy,
Yep.
You're the LeBron Game 6 meme.
That's right.
Opening up the Hard Rock app, it's LeBron Game 6. That's Hawk's face every
Rob
time.
Pizzola tweeted out Hawk washed. And I said, okay, Washed King is going to show you.
The Washed King.
Low key, you're like Aaron Rodgers yesterday. I'm here to laugh at the Jets. 14th straight year that they missed the playoffs. Aaron Rodgers was asked about it, and he said, quote, "I've only been here for one," which I thought was hilarious.
It was even a better response because the guy didn't even ask him a question. Like some New York reporter goes, that is 14 seasons in a row for the Jets without a playoff appearance. That's pretty hard to do. And Aaron Rodgers just looks at me and goes, "What's the question?"
Oh, he's playing next year. After that game, he's playing next year.
Yeah.
He'll be a Carolina Panther.
Scared me a little. No, not so fast. My guy Bryce Young.
Bryce Young.
Baby.
Coming out. He's got a good 4-game losing streak going. He is coming around.
Well, we play the Jets in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, we play him final game in at MetLife. Yeah. All right, here's your
There'll be a lot on the line too.
Yeah, maybe. Here's your TLDR. Too long didn't read for the South Florida Sports Weekend. The Dolphins game-tying 52-yard field goal sends it into overtime. Tua perfect on that last drive, and in overtime finally started throwing the ball to the FIU Panther. Are you kidding me? Come on, Jonnu Smith, game-winning touchdown.
But that was excellent. I mean, they took Jonnu out of the game, and then all of a sudden he saw a little opening, and man, I mean, that was the Jonnu overtime. That was the Jonnu overtime.
Had Jonnu over 4.5 receptions, lost that one.
He almost had it in overtime. He had literally 0 receptions, right?
Yes.
I don't know if he had any targets going into overtime.
I think he had 1 reception throughout the game. I thought I thought he had 4 receptions in overtime, didn't he? Or did he only have 3?
Yeah. It was 3. I didn't win because I can look
3.
right now.
He had 3 in overtime.
Gotcha. So 4 for the game. Yeah. Damn, that sucks. At least Tyreek and Waddle finally had a big game. Tua was excellent, as you mentioned. Dolphins have to win out if they want to make the playoffs at Houston, home versus San Francisco, at Cleveland, at New York to close out the season. They actually own the tiebreaker with Denver, who was off this week. They're 8-5. Chargers lost yesterday thanks to a doink. Another Kansas City win, just I don't know how, but that was good for the Dolphins. I don't think the Chargers are going to be on the outside looking in, but technically good for the Dolphins. The Colts were on a bye this week as well. The Canes will play in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. Cam Ward might play. He might play.
He's playing.
His dad, by the way, I will say, his dad told Kane Sport that there's a 50-50 chance.
Yeah, it was very the place where he said that he played was a very casual FaceTime conversation. And he had just found out, hey, Canes are going to be in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. And I think, you're young and you're the team leader and you find out, okay, our bowl game is the Pop-Tarts Bowl. And you immediately go, okay, let me get ready for the Pop-Tarts Bowl. And I think what happens is over the next week or so, representation and parents and there'll be, I think, a more formal conversation with Cam Ward about whether it makes sense to play Iowa State in the Pop-Tarts Bowl.
Get your Floggenbogger jersey out, whatever that boy's name is.
He transferred.
There's no what's his name? Floggenberger?
Hoffenberger.
There's no chance Cam Ward plays in this game. What's he going to do? He's a chance to be it's going to be Shedeur Sanders or him as the number one quarterback taken. Travis Hunter might go over them because he's probably going to win the Heisman and he's a hell of a talent. Iowa State isn't jumping Cam Ward over anyone in the draft. Now I can go tear my ACL and lose $10 million. There's no reason to play in this bowl game. It's crazy that he said it, and I love his dad trying to pull it back. Cam Ward is not playing for the Pop-Tarts.
Hawk, I too have a ranking of Pop-Tart flavors that I'd like to get to later as well.
We've got, when's the game? 28th?
Yeah, 28th.
We have 19 days for Pop-Tarts talk.
Yes, sir.
I better not put Schmore on there.
Think a few years ago, we did 20 days of Cheez-It talk.
More like Cheez-L. Did you say Schmore, by the way? What are we talking about? Shamor Sanders?
Yeah. Or are you talking about a Jewish s'more?
My kids go to the JCC.
A s'more, bro.
S'more.
No, s'mores.
S'more?
S'more. Yeah.
S'more.
Just a dumb name, by the way. I maintain. I still don't understand why it's called a s'more, but whatever.
Yeah. Don't get me started on Snickerdoodle.
You hate on Snickerdoodles. They are delicious.
I would argue, though, s'mores does have a dumb name, but they're infinitely more successful than Snickerdoodle.
Mm-hmm.
No, Snickerdoodles are 200 years old. When did people start putting marshmallows on chocolate on graham?
What are you talking about? There's pictures of cavemen doing it on hieroglyphics.
Oh, there wasn't no graham crackers and hieroglyphics.
S'mores is a more popular flavor, though, than Snickerdoodle.
Yeah, Snickerdoodle's old. Old people like
when you see, in other words, when you see s'mores flavor, it's chocolate and marshmallow flavor. People see Snickerdoodle flavor. They don't know what it is.
Yeah.
They think it's Snickers.
Yeah. How you say that people don't know what Snickerdoodles are?
You're so right, and you never go back to it because you see it and you're like,
so right.
Ooh, Snickerdoodle, that sounds good. You try it.
I'm gonna have the Snickerdoodle pie, and then it's like, wait a second, this doesn't taste like a Snickers at all. This is false advertising.
Snickerdoodles around before Snickers.
Not the question.
I love it. That cinnamon, that sugar. It's like a
no one knew that there was cinnamon. Call it cinnamon then.
Cinnamon doodle?
Yeah, anything. Put cinnamon in the title, please. I'm begging you.
Once a year, Crowder has to cape up for Snickerdoodle.
I love Snickerdoodles.
You always come strong with it, man. I salute. Salute, brother.
Salute you. I really do enjoy a good snickerdoodle.
The Heat are streaking. Tyler's been the best player on the floor in their last 3 games. Period. End of story. And the Panthers are streaking. Matthew Tkachuk has been the best player on the ice in their past 6 games. Shout out to Paul Maurice, winningest coach in Panthers franchise history, which is crazy in 2.5 seasons.
Did not know that.
FIU has a new head coach, by the way, Willie Simmons. His introductory press conference started at 2. I'll have some notes for you guys later. And Juan Soto is rich. Your weather from the Demesman and Dover Law Firm. Call them 866-954-MORE. YourAccidentAttorneys.com. Free consultations 24/7. More money than any baseball player should be making.
I saw some headline today. It was something on Twitter. It was like U.S. earmarks $1 billion additional towards Ukraine, and someone had responded, they could have gotten Juan Soto.
That's great. 750?
Crazy.
Goodness. And call, what's the guy FIU's coach name? Call him William.
Willie.
When you said Willie, I know exactly what he looks like. William is, it's broader.
He's Willie.
He's Willie.
I know. I don't even know who he is, but I know what he looks like now because his name is Willie.
Yep.
William Simmons is the new coach of FIU.
Although one of the most famous jockeys of all time, old, short, white guy, Willie Shoemaker. You never really know. Yeah.
There was pictures of some little itty bitty dudes you kept pointing at. I never heard of him before in my life.
Edgar Prado, man. You had me laughing. One of the greatest jockeys of all time.
Who the hell is this little tiny person?
Anything else, Alana?
It's partly cloudy. Tonight, the lows will be in the mid-70s. That's brought to you by Demesman and Dover Law Firm. Call them 866-954-MORE or online at YourAccidentAttorneys.com.
He was riding a pug.
It was a guy. It was where we were at Gulfstream Friday. There were pictures, famous jockeys, and I'm like, oh, Crowder, we're doing the show under the watchful eyes of Edgar Prado, and he's like, who's that?
Tiny dude, big old teeth in his mouth. Man, come on.